People of Reddit. As the public becomes increasingly disillusioned with dating apps, where do you see modern dating going? Matchmaking by AI overlords. There's a company called Skip This Small Talk that does speed dating events near me on a regular basis. They do themed events. One event might be based on ages in the late 20s, early 30s, and the next one might be 30s and 40s, and one after might be for LGBTQ, etc. But a lot of undesirable elements of dating apps. And it also means that the way they make money is more straightforward, so you don't have to worry as much about being a resource milked by an algorithm. While speed dating and dating early events are becoming popular. Back to IRL. Part of me wants to say it's at rock bottom, so it's only bound to get better from here. But I've been fooled by that before, so worse. It's going to get so much worse. I mean, my hope is that the third place returns as a commonplace feature in most people's lives. Because that's really the root of the issue. Very few regular social avenues to gradually form familiarity with people, and what ones who exist tend to either be very expensive to do regularly or are heavily dominated by one gender or the other. Everyone wants to meet new people. Nobody wants to talk to strangers. Something has to give in that equation. Timely, cheap, neutral hangout locations where communities form in such a way that familiarity and trust grows gradually, and the focus is not explicitly on romantic courtship as an activity in itself. Hoping third places and hangout spots that are not all about drinking start to make more of a comeback in that they were somewhat common up until the Reagan administration. Shocking. You can still find them now, but they aren't terribly common. Away for good. Like Japan and Korea. Depends who is more comfortable being alone, men or women. I'm sure we'll just jump on each new app before it's ruined with over-monetization. Porn keeps getting better, and dating keeps getting worse. So I'll put my money on more people watching porn. This is a little survivorship bias, but I'm married and met my wife online. I went on a bunch of dates and had a few relationships from there too. It's a mess, but not absolutely worthless. If you don't have luck online, try in person. Those are the two options, and both are valid. 35 to 50 are already screwed because of dating apps. Teens that stop now will be better off and have more relationships and kids. Millennials are going to be the most single childless generation in history. What apps? Been off them for 3 years. Single app. Don't care. Life is good. Fuck those things. Hi boy girlfriends. Why bother with the whole make things work when I can literally make them perfect? A return to appels for a mate, dating for puss, if you will. Back to IRL activities, where you can meet people and make friends, which could potentially lead to relationships, like ancient times. If I were a self-aware I would optimize online dating apps from their current state subtly, slightly, and over time. Add more addictive social media dopamine alluring algorithms and wait a few decades and just let it happen. Make dating and socializing the machines one, without ever firing a shot. Just go do stuff. I would say I don't stand out with my looks in either direction, but I have no problem meeting people that way. I've gone on more dates by just going to things than apps have ever done for me. I saw a flyer for a water lantern festival, so I just went. Normally, I'll ask at least one other person to go, but if they can't, I will likely still go by myself if the event is amenable to individuals participating. You will both be surprised by how high your bar is and how low others are. Hopefully back to IRL, and these dating apps can fuck off. Real life like it was for thousands of years. Matchmakers and friends of a friend. Also a rush to find the one in college, since that might be your last chance. Not really your last chance, but some people might think it is. Also places where people aren't supposed to be looking, but they kinda, or like the gym, volunteer places, and places where you shop like a bookstore or a mall. If governments want higher birth rates and dating apps are there to keep you on them, then why don't governments make their own dating apps that actually match up PPL with an algorithm that works? Acquire roommates and accidentally find yourself in a polycule. Arranged marriages by parents. I must be the only person on earth who likes dating apps and just feels like most people use them incorrectly. To me, they function to exchange a few quick messages and set up a low-pressure meetup. When I've exited relationships and become ready to date again, I just pop in, set up a date or two, and pause the app until I've seen that date or dates through to conclusion. Of course, you'll drive yourself crazy talking to 7 different people for 2 weeks. Apps were never meant to replace IRL dating, just to make IRL dating more accessible. Are you guys actually going out to bars, social groups, activities, and meeting new people? Or are you all just sitting in bed mindlessly scrolling Tinder hoping that the perfect girl will just pop up? Nothing I see on Reddit about dating and the loneliness epidemic matches with what I see in real life. I went up to a girl in my martial arts class and asked for her number. And a month later now we're dating. All of you make it sound like it's completely impossible and your only hope is with dating apps literally just go talk to people. Find groups, go to bars, make friends, and ask some people. If they say no, move on. If you guys go and talk to people, then you'll make friends. If you stay inside all day scrolling Reddit, then you won't. But we need to bring back the sending letters to your crush and going outside her window to play the violin while singing something romantic technique. Arranged marriage. Passport brothers. Not the public, but Reddit definitely. It's summer. Some people who cry about apps should get a reality check and go to their nearest town center next weekend night. It's full of people to meet and chat. And while at it, have a chat with your grandparents on how great dating was back then when you were basically limited to your village. People don't trust each other anymore, and that's not going to improve in the future. It's going to be steamer 8 Goonin. When is dating going to be as the old days again? My friend was just commenting on how analog his last date, met her at a bar, and they hit it off. Modern dating is still through connections. You're born to a huge organization in this world nowadays. Dating apps is just for hookups, and even that is very rare to find nowadays. Maybe a return of third places. It seems like people are finally understanding the need for those, and it seems like lots more cities are creating them. Hopefully anyway, or else things will get bad. I think it goes back to real-life meeting. Since COVID, I've been meeting more women out in the real world. It's refreshing. I don't really care. I've given up all hope on finding love. Ship sailed a long time ago. We're going to go back to the old ways in-person matchmakers. Dating apps are still statistically growing more and more significant in terms of couples that met using them. But it seems that they remain dominated by hookup culture, as well as bots and people who are only there for an ego boost. Still a lot to be said about just being +1 to some parties of friends, or joining some clubs groups for a particular niche and opportunistically trying to ask out someone you like. Back to how it was before these dumbass apps. I believe modern dating may shift towards more personal connections outside apps, emphasizing authenticity and deeper interactions over superficial profiles. People seek genuine connections in a digital age that often feels disconnected. Good old matchmaking by friends and family. I'm just gonna off myself ATP. Same place where it's ever been for the last 1,000 years. Rich and or interesting charismatic men get to date the top 5 of women. Thanks for watching.